As long as I got you, baby.
So, welcome back to another Baking with Becca. Today I thought I'd, have you back a little bit here and decided to make some like low-calorie brownies. I found the recipe when I was, scrolling through YouTube, and they always come up with these good recipes that I just have to bake. But the trouble is, when I bake, I then want to eat it, and being in the house means I can't escape the baking. And so it's been a bit of a difficulty, but YouTube came through and recommended me a video of 37 calorie brownies, and of course I clicked on it. So I'm going to follow the recipe, but I'm not sure if they're actually 37 calories. We'll see. 37 calorie brownies these days. I will actually work the calories out for these particular brownies and see if they are 37 calories, so fingers crossed, but I think they're going to be lower anyway, so let's get on with it. So the recipe uses cups instead of like grams because it's American, but it means I get to work out the new cup measurements that we got my mum for her birthday, which is good. Now it says to use a food processor, but the only trouble is I have this one and I just don't think it's going to fit it all in. So what I'm thinking is blending up the oats a little bit and then just using a normal like hand mixer. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to do that just because I'm worried I don't want it to like spill everywhere and then I have to clean it up. So we'll see. So I will leave the recipe down below, but I will roughly talk you through as I'm doing it. I might put it on the screen, it depends. So the first ingredient, half a cup of oats. Never actually used cup measurements before, so there's a first for everything. Do you see what I mean by we have the smallest food processor known to man? So I'm just going to put the oats in the food processor, blend them down a little bit because I think that's why we have to use it. Then just use like a normal hand whisk. So fingers crossed this isn't going to a good start.
I can't get you out of my mind. It's like I feel it for the first time.
Don't know, is that alright? It's kind of like flour, I suppose. That's what we're aiming for, is flour, right? Let's try this. Just realised I hadn't turned the oven on. Whoops, that could have been a disaster. I've never actually used like a sweetener before, but we went into Asda and found this. It's like 80p, and I wanted to get one that had no calories in, but this one has a lot less calories than like normal sugar. So I'm going to give it a go, see what it's like. I don't know if it's going to be like too artificial, but I'm going to weigh it out and see. I feel like half a cup is a lot. It doesn't smell great. It just smells like plastic, but we'll give it a go. So half a cup again. It's like snow. Oh my gosh. This would be such a good idea to put on top of like a Christmas cake to make it like snowy. So I'm just gonna put it in the bowl. Next up is half a cup of cocoa powder. Now I feel like that's really high, like a lot. I'm not questioning it. Am I reading right? Half a cup. It's going to be chocolatey. That will do. The recipe then calls for a pinch of salt, but I feel like a pinch of salt is so subjective. Like, to one person, a pinch of salt could be the tiniest amount, but to some people, they might like a lot of salt, and a pinch could be a lot. So I'm going to do a sprinkle or two. And then a teaspoon of baking powder, which is pretty standard, you know. If I do say so myself, you know. And an egg. We then need a 1/4 cup of coconut milk. And 3 of natural yogurt. Brownies have just come out of the oven. I'm not sure about them really, but I wasn't sure whether to leave it on the wire rack, but it doesn't fit in the tin at the moment, and I'm waiting for it to cool down before I cut it up. But we'll see. So I've just been editing this video, and I realised I never outroed it or gave you my opinions on the brownies, so I'm going to do that now. I did briefly sort of talk about this earlier, but the initial taste of the mix before it had been cooked was really, really lovely and dark, but then after a while you get this horrible sort of overly sweet tang, or aftertaste, and I think that's from the sweetener. And then the rest of the day all I could think about was the smell and the taste of, because it was still in my mouth, the smell and the taste of it made me feel really, really ill. I think that's just my reaction to sweetener, because I've never had it before. It was to the point where I had to actually bin the rest of the sweetener that was left over in the container because it was making me feel really ill. But my family said that they like the brownies, they just think that maybe the sweetener could just be substituted for sugar, and I do kind of agree. I think like Prue Leith once said, it's got to be worth the calories, and for me they weren't worth 40 calories. Like, if you're gonna have a treat and get over it. Don't sort of try and substitute and make yourself low calorie things and restrict yourself in that way. Just have a treat and then go back to being good, and you won't feel deprived. I think the brownies would satisfy you, but they're not going to be like the best brownies in the world. So that's just my little uptake and opinions on the brownies. So I worked them out to be 43 calories a brownie. That's if you divide them by, I can't remember, I think that was if you divide it by 18, but I'll put it on screen if I'm wrong. If you did like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. I'm nearly at 20 subscribers, which is crazy considering I didn't really think that anyone would actually watch my videos. So yeah, thank you very much if you are subscribed. And if you're watching but you aren't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Your support would mean a lot to me. So thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.